Because we're all part of Team! Team! Ah, very good.
What has this series been called? What? In charge. Really good, really good. All right, so who here's ever been in charge of someone or something? Yeah? And then who here had that someone or something that you were in charge of just go wrong, like absolutely wrong? Yeah, me? My hand goes up there. I always thought of my time in Ireland, because I was doing a daycare. I was doing like a week-long camp. Every week there's like a different camp group that we had. And there was this kid, I'm not gonna say his name this time, but you know, he was, no, I can't, it's on video, I can't say it. What does this do for you guys? Anyways, so what happened was, this kid, he's playing with some, like, he's doing his thing, he's playing some games, yeah, he's a youth, right? He's playing with some people, and this guy that he doesn't like comes up to him, takes his shoe, and just throws it. And I'm sitting back here with my other leader friends, and we're kind of like, oh, that looks kind of bad. Should be fine, we'll leave it. All of a sudden, this guy gets really angry, starts chasing the other guy immediately. I'm like, oh boy. So I start like briskly jogging. I'm like, no, it's not that bad, like nothing that bad's gonna happen. All of a sudden, the guy finally catches up, bam, it's right in the head. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Chuck the guy off, the leader, like, and I was like, at that moment, I realized, I think I failed in that leadership moment. That was a bad moment of my leadership. And we've all been in charge of something where it went wrong. You know, you might have had to like feed the fish, and the fish didn't get fed, and all of a sudden it's doing like a backwards swim. I know those ones. But you know what? I love being in charge though. Even though I mess up sometimes, even though I'm not perfect, I mess up sometimes, you know? But I love it. I love being in charge. I love leading even you guys along with the other Tweens leaders. We love it. And I'm pretty sure all of you guys that have been in charge of something, you enjoy it. You said you got a new dog, right, Cody? You're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a lot of fun leading the dog, being in charge of that dog, taking care of it. But one thing we don't always love is someone else being in charge of us. We don't always love that, right? We're gonna dive a little deeper into people being in charge of us. First, we're gonna do that by defining authority. Now, authority is someone having the power or right to be in charge of someone or something, right? And they make the decision regarding whatever they're in charge of, so they have the say. And last week, we said before, whether you like it or not, authority is something we're gonna have to deal with. Does that make sense? We're gonna have to deal with it regardless of how we feel about it. Now, some of you guys might like authority. You guys don't mind your teachers, your coaches, your parents, your tweens pastor, or your leaders. You guys enjoy, you guys have a great time. You love them, and we love you guys back, by the way. But I was worried if anyone was going to disagree with that. But you know, it's easy to respect them. You know, it's easy to respect them. It's not that hard because they're good to you guys. But then for others of us, it's like, someone being in charge of me is the worst. How many of you guys feel that way? You guys do not like people being in charge of you. All right, I want to pick a few people. Just tell me why you guys don't like someone being in charge of you.
Because I can't make my own decisions, and they just make me do something that they want me to do, and I can't do it.
I like that. Got your hand up? You can't make your own decisions? Okay. They're very bad. Yeah.
Because people will just start to boss you around.
Oh, bossy? Yeah.
Well, like with teachers, I can't be like, I don't want to do that. So I just have to do
If you don't want to do something and they make, that's a big one too. Okay, yeah.
I don't like people think they're better than you just because.
Ooh, they might look down on you. Interesting. I'm gonna park right there though. So, maybe you guys don't like your authorities, yeah, for those kind of reasons. They're bossy, you don't want to do what they say. And I understand why some of you guys struggle with authority. I get it. I do too sometimes. I have parents, I have bosses, I have people that are like, oh man, I don't want to do that today. But if they tell me to do it, I gotta listen. Now, here's some struggles that maybe some of you guys might struggle with authority. This is for a different pocket because you guys don't trust your authorities. Maybe they did something to break that authority in your life. Maybe there's bad people. They're just not by bad people, I mean they're bad authority figures, they're not that good. Maybe they asked you to do something that wasn't right, or they didn't do things that were right. Like they watch bad movies or TV shows, or they'd do bad things like they'd steal or they'd break certain rules. Yeah, like siblings, you know, sometimes they can do some wrong things, they're not perfect. Or maybe they treat you guys unfairly. There are a few reasons why they might treat you unfairly. Maybe your age, you're so young, but they look down on you guys. Maybe they look down on you guys because you're gender. Maybe because you guys are girls, that they mistreat you guys. Now I know some girls might feel that way before, like you've been mistreated. Yep, see already, hands right there. Or because you're a boy, maybe you get mistreated. Sometimes people get mistreated because of their race, what they look like. I'm getting real today. I'm not. Why bother? Because like they think you're different. They want to mistreat you for different reasons. Or maybe they threaten to hurt you. They actually might have hurt you. Maybe they scream at you, or they call you names and just other icky things like that, which isn't nice. Now, I'm gonna say this 3 times today. Everyone say 3. You're gonna hear this 3 times, okay? Remember, if a leader is abusive or they're using their authority to hurt you, make sure you speak up, okay? Talk to your trusted leaders. Talk to a trusted authority, a trusted parent, someone you trust, because we're here to help you guys. That's what we're here for. If someone is using their authority to hurt you, this is not acceptable behavior. Last week, remember with the pylons and everything? Jesus is a good example of authority. Not those leaders, okay? So, moments like the ones I mentioned probably make it harder to follow those leaders, and it's probably harder to even respect them too. And we're going to be dealing with great people and not so great people who are going to be in charge of us in life. It's a little bit of both. And we're going to talk about what we do when we have a bad authority figure. Inesh, do you know how to dim the lights? I'm going to need you to dim those lights. Get the tone just right. Get the tone just right. We need to set the stage for this, because I want to talk about what we do and someone who had to deal with a bad authority figure. We'll talk to someone in the Bible who had to deal with that, and it wasn't the best, but I need a volunteer for that. Put the robe on over here. Yeah, put the crown on, very good. Get the crown on this guy. Those who are off camera, you guys aren't watching, this is a phenomenal moment. He's big crown king. Go take one knee, just take a knee. Go on your knee. Everyone get ready to applaud this, just applaud it. Wow. Standing ovation, standing ovation. Lionel, wow, oh, they're all standing there. Oh, unbelievable. You will watch it at home, you will not. It's so cute. It's so beautiful. Anyway, sit back down. Okay, so, Axel, I need you to do me a favor, okay? You need to act out whatever I say happens, okay? I'm gonna narrate the story. He's gotta act it out for the people. You have a short range on the camera though, okay? So make sure you just take that in. Okay. So what's gonna happen is, this is King Saul. Everyone say hi, King Saul. King Saul is a kind of a cool dude, but guess what? He's not really. He's a little crazy, okay? He's a little paranoid, actually. He's a little, very fearsome, very fearful. He is very, just paranoid about a certain David, come into screen, David, taking his job as king. He's scared that David might become king one day, and he became very, very paranoid about it, that he actually tried to kill David on multiple occasions. He tried throwing a spear at him like it was a javelin, so fake throw a spear at her, just boom. And David dodged it. David got to dodge the spear on multiple occasions, not just once. So someone kept letting Saul around him, like he let spears be around him. He ordered servants and messengers to try and kill David. He sent them to go get him, and David had to get away from that. He chased David in the wilderness also. And you know what? Because Saul was afraid of David becoming king, which he was right, David would become king. Because he was scared though, he would use his authority to try and kill David. You gotta act like a king. Do a king. Let me see a king walk. Do a little king strut. Yeah. It's nice. Hey. All right. So what happened was, after all those attempts of trying to kill David, what do you guys think that David did in response? What do you guys think David had to do? I had to pick someone else. Amelia. He did nothing. No, he definitely did something. If someone's trying to kill you, what are you gonna do? If someone's trying to kill you, oh, that's nice.
Put a protection order.
Huh?
Put a protection.
No, Josh. Let's see.
Prayed, I guess.
I mean, he definitely was praying. He was doing something else while he was praying. Yeah.
Oh, killing time.
But, oh, he ran away, guys. He ran away. David ran away. And you know what? Saul, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find him. So David, he ran and he hid. And have you guys ever played hide and seek and then almost got caught?
Yeah.
And it's the feeling of just like, oh my gosh, like you're about to get caught, right? You know that feeling? So one day, King Saul and his men are walking through the forest looking for David, or they came back from a war, and they see a nice cave. And they're like, wow, that's a nice cave. And they go on with their day. They just carry on with their day. And then all of a sudden, David was actually hiding in the very back of that cave. David was hiding there. So then Saul, he's like, you know what though? I gotta relax a little bit. I'm gonna go in the cave to relax a little bit. I'm gonna do my thing. So he goes into the cave and he decides to relax. And what do you guys think is going through David's mind at this moment? Oh my goodness. We're gonna die. And David and his men were horrified. They were terrified, petrified. But you know what happened? Saul didn't even know that David was there. He didn't even know David and his men were there. It was a very dark cave, very dark moment. He can't see anything. He's relaxing. And you know what? David's men start to whisper in David's ear. They're like, hey, you know what, David? This is your chance. You can kill him. Get your knife out. You can kill him right now. All these years of him trying to kill you, all those moments led up to this. This is your chance. You can get it right now. Just stick him once and that's it. You can become king. You want to become king, don't you, David? You want to be king, right, David? David, this guy's been trying to kill you. You gotta get him. It's your chance. So you know what David did? David all of a sudden started to sneak up right behind Saul. Saul did not know David was even there. And all of a sudden, you know what David did? Tell me what David did. Who knows what David did? Amelia, what did David do? He did what? He cut a piece. Oh, he cut a piece of David out of his robe. And the verse isn't up there. Let's see the verse. David crept forward and cut off a piece of Saul's robe. He didn't stab him, did he? Did he hurt him?
No.
And Saul still didn't notice. And after all Saul put David through, he could have got even. But David afterwards, Saul would leave the cave after having a nice little relaxing moment. He stretched, he got up. Saul got up and stretched. Get up and stretch. Yeah, get up. Stretch. He was like, what a refreshing time. And David would reveal himself. And Saul's like, there you are. There. You've been trying to kill me. Now's my chance to get you. I'm going to kill you now, David. And David's like, you know what? I could have killed you in that very moment. I could have killed you there. I was in that cave, but I didn't. And Saul, he was like, I don't believe you. He put his hands on his hips, and he was like, I don't believe you. Snapped his fingers and snap. That's a good sassy snap right there. But then David revealed the hem of his robe, and Saul's looking around his robe, he's like, where'd that go? This is a missing piece of my robe right there. What happened? And David's saying, you know what? This is the verse that David said. He said, I could have killed you, but I didn't. And you guys gonna help me out? You guys ready? I said, you guys ready? All right. May the Lord between us, perhaps the Lord will you for what you are trying to do to me, but I will never harm you. As that old proverb says, from evil come evil, so you can be sure I will never harm you. May the Lord therefore judge which of us is right and punish the guilty one. He is my advocate, and he will rescue me from your power. Give a round of applause to these two people. What a great job. Great job. King Saul and David. See, in our eyes, David probably had a really good reason to kill Saul. After all Saul put David through, you probably think no one would bat an eye if David tried to get Saul back. People would be like, you know what, that makes sense. But David didn't. David said, you know what, in that verse, it basically means, you know what, even though you did evil things to me, Saul, I'm not going to get even with you. I'm not going to stoop down to your level and get back at you for what you did to me. David said, you know what, I'm better than this. And I'm still going to honor you. David decided to honor Saul because Saul was the authority that God put in his life. Now, we can't choose the authority figures in our lives, and we can't choose what they do, but what we can choose is how we respond to them. And we can choose to be honorable. And I've said this in the past before, being joyful is a choice. Being peaceful, having peace on the inside, that's a choice. And being honorable to those authorities that might make you feel like they're disrespecting you, or maybe they're trying to really hurt you, or they talk down on you, or they abuse you, or a different thing, that's a choice. That's a choice to honor them back. What you guys do in response is up to you guys. Now, being honorable does not mean doing the things that are harmful to you. It doesn't mean that Saul kind of goes, hey David, stand still while I pin you to the wall real quick with this javelin. Let me aim just, that doesn't mean that David should stand still. That's not being honorable. That is not what it means to be honorable. What it means to be honorable, though, is because David still ran away. But we don't agree with giving in to the person, but we still respect them. How you respond is respectful to them. If your teacher talks down to you, it doesn't mean that's your chance to talk back to them. You still honor them back. Now, like I said, though, when someone tries harming you, when Saul tried harming David, he ran away. He was smart, he protected himself. Same thing goes for you guys the second time. So it's 3 times. Second time, if someone's harming you, if someone's trying to abuse you with their power, you speak up. You do the right thing for yourself, but also for other people too that they might be hurting. We don't want to see that cycle continue. Now, remember guys, to speak up. And don't try to get revenge by stooping to their level. We're better than that. We can honor them instead. And that doesn't mean they're going to start honoring us too. Because guess what? Saul, he fell to his knees and he was like, oh my gosh, David, please come back home. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, David. You're right. You could have killed me. I'm at your mercy, David. And then afterwards, he tried killing him again. How can we be honorable to those around us? First thing, choose to be honorable. This doesn't always mean obeying. but a proper response to those authority figures. Still doing what they see, even if they're a little sassy about it, even if they're a little rude. Second thing, think about what you say and how you say it. Think about what you say and how you say it. Now, don't talk disrespectfully back to them just because they use a tone with you. But also, don't talk about them behind their backs. We have no business doing that if we're really about God. What you say does matter. And David, he still honored Saul. That's the story I want to get into another time. He still honored Saul even when he died. David mourned Saul's death because he honored him so much. Third thing, remember that they're human too. I am far from perfect. Very far. People who know me are like, wow, he's very right. I am so far from perfect. I make mistakes. I might say things, parents might say things that aren't perfect to you guys. And as you guys grow up, you guys go, oh, you know what? They weren't perfect. That's okay. They're human. Teachers aren't perfect. We don't know what they go through in their day. We don't know what they were brought up and what their life was like before now. Some people were very hurt or traumatized with it. That makes them act ways that I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying we can understand where they're coming from. If someone's a little grumpier one day, it doesn't mean we can disrespect them. Understand, maybe they had a hard day today. Maybe something's going on at home that we don't know about. Remember, they're human. We all have bad days, right? And then fourth thing though, this will bring me to my fourth thing. Do what's safe for you. Just because they're having a bad day or they had some weird upbringing or something happened to them that went wrong, doesn't give them the right to treat you guys wrong though. And it doesn't give them the right to abuse any of you guys. It's the third time I'm gonna say it. I told you guys 3 times I was gonna say it. If someone's abusing you guys, speak up, talk to your small group leaders, talk to us, talk to me. We're here to help you. Talk to a trusted adult, your parents, your teacher, anyone. Talk to someone you trust. And let us help you. Because that doesn't give them a right to mistreat you. You guys have to do what's safe for you. Just like David ran away, you guys gotta run and do the right thing. I strongly encourage you guys to speak up. Now, we're gonna talk about a word named meekness just to close things off. Meekness. Do you guys know what meekness is? Not if you guys know. You guys know what meek means. M-E-E-K. Everyone say meek. Meekness is basically the power. You have the power and the ability to get revenge, to get even, or to make justice happen in your mind, but choosing not to do it. So, David, not Catherine. David had the chance to kill Saul. He snuck up. He had the right, he had the power to do it, the ability to do it, but he withheld. He chose not to do it. We might have the ability to say a mean thing back to that person who's in charge of us, or to disobey them. But holding our tongue, biting our tongue, holding back, choosing not to do it, that's so much stronger than any punch you can throw. Being meek and being humble. And that's what God can use you the most. That's when you can be most honorable. Let's pray. And as we close our eyes, think of that authority figure that might have rubbed you the wrong way, or might have hurt you in your past that you have to forgive. Maybe it's an older sibling who mistreated you. Maybe it's a teacher who made fun of you one day or laughed at you. Maybe it's someone who yells at you for no reason. Maybe it's someone who actually abused you. So God, we just give this person to you, whoever it is on our hearts. Help us to forgive that person, not even for their sake, but for our own hearts, God, so that we can be free from whatever bondage that unforgiveness has over us. Help us to honor those leaders above us, but also help us to speak up if leaders are abusing their power, trying to harm us, Lord. Help us to speak up about it, and help us to honor those above us, just like David honored Saul. Help us to honor you, Lord, as you brought those authority figures into our lives. And use us as your vessels, God, as we become honorable leaders too. In Jesus' name. And everyone said? And everyone said?
Because we're all part of Team. Very good.